Welcome back to another episode of Bossin Up With Ballard podcast. Today we're diving into a hot topic that's been buzzing lately, and that's women wanting men to lead in a relationship far as in 2024. Traditionally, it's known for men to lead and a woman to follow, but that narrative might be what most people think of. We're talking about our leadership far as what it means in today's society, far as it being redefined, far as men and women. So really, let's just buckle down into it and get straight into the topic today. Just making sure you understand that the shift in leadership is far as expectations. When we think of leadership, especially in relationships, we often think of the old school idea of a man making all the decisions. But leadership today looks very different. It's about the partnership and the emotional intelligence and the guidance, as far as guidance in the relationship. And it can be a two-way street that benefits both people that's involved, changing the dynamics from past to now. In the past, leadership was often seen as a man having the final say so, making a major life decisions like the finances, where to live, and even how the household should be ran. Now it's more collaborative effort within today's age where both partners make change in different areas. It's important far as your emotional intelligence in today's relationships. With the new expectations, it's just about leading with a lot of logic, but leading with emotional intelligence. Men who can understand their partner's emotions, needs, will also manage their own and stand out as a true leader far as in modern day relationships. And just also understanding another thing that changes is how social media and the urban culture portrays relationships. We see these images as powerful couples with both partners are strong and independent, but there's also understand that man leads in certain areas. It's creating a new template for leadership. And why women want men to lead, they desire stability and security. One of the main reasons women want men to lead is because they're looking for stability and security. And by having stability, and I just don't mean financially, although that's part of it, but emotionally and mentally. A lot of women want men who can be the rock in their relationship, especially in times of uncertainty, leadership in times of crisis. Got to have those key moments when women look for a man to lead in these tough times, as far as crises and hardships, whether it's financially challenged, a family emergency, or even personal struggles that they want to feel that man that can hold them down and keep everything steady and guide them and move forward. And just also understanding that emotional leadership is key too. It's not just about paying bills or making decisions. Emotional leadership is huge in 2024. Women want men who can communicate their feelings or offer emotional support or create a safe space for them to be vulnerable. And also with the sense of the purpose, far as direction. Women are also attracted to men who have a clear sense of purpose and direction in life. When a man knows where he's headed, that confidence and it shows within a relationship. Leadership here is about micromanaging. It's not about micromanaging a relationship. It's all about guidance and being able to give the right direction and just taking initiative. In 2024, women want men who take initiative, whether it's planning a date, organizing a trip, or simply handling the tough conversations. Women appreciate when men can take charge in a way that shows they are invested and willing to put in effort. And just also balancing traditional and modern expectations. That's key to me. That's real key. And also that it's also a balance to be struck as well. While many women appreciate the traditional aspect of leadership, they like being the protector and provider. They also need a man to embrace the modern day roles and like being supported and supporting their careers or sharing household duties or even parenting equally. And leadership is beyond finances as well. Money is still a significant aspect of leader, but it's not far as the longer of the sole factor of that. Leadership in 2024, far as man, is emotionally being supportive, being responsible, and it's all not about just being financially. And just also redefining the masculine side of things within women wanting them to lead. Having that masculine side, as far as in today's society, we shift away from the idea of a man having to be hard, emotionless, or detached. It's about the strength, and it's about the emotional intelligence and vulnerability and empathy that a man can show, and just strengthen in that vulnerability. One of the strongest forms of leadership in 2024 is vulnerability. Women want men who are not afraid to open up and share their feelings and be transparent about what's going on with them. That kind of emotional availability is a game changer within relationships. And just the importance of being an active listener. Part of leading is knowing when to step back and listen in a relationship. Women want men who can listen to their needs and frustration and goals without feeling threatened or defense. Active listening strengths can improve your leadership skills with your partner and also voice your perspective. And with that, just having empathy is another trait that becomes unanimous with leadership. Women want men who can put themselves in their partner's shoes, understand their struggles, and offer solutions and support from a place of compassion. In the past leadership, it was about authority and empathy and partnership. Sometimes you also got to learn how to balance your career ambitions and your emotional leadership. Many men still define their leadership by their career success, but emotional leadership at home is just as critical. Balancing ambition with emotional leadership is the hallmark of 2024. When women are looking for men to drive that emotion, they're engaged at home. And just respecting them as well is it's the balance women want far as in leadership. They want the independency as well, but also they want to be guided without being overpowered. A real leader knows when their partner's independency will when there need to be stepping far as their independence. Uh, Leadership, as far as an action, what should you do? One thing for sure is communicating with a purpose. One key area where man can lead is in communication. Too many relationships fall apart because of poor communication, which leads to because they don't want to have that tough conversation. Normally, if you could communicate, you can be able to initiate those tough conversations and just being proactive to any issues as far as conflicts. Leadership also means being proactive about as far as resolving them. Instead of just waiting on problems to escalate, men just need to take lead and invest in the issues and bring solutions to the table. It's just for anything, bring solutions. Be consistent in what you're doing. Consistency as far as leadership, showing up is when you say you willing to follow through with the promises that you've given and being able to rely on that's being able to rely on that is huge. Leadership is about trust and trusting that someone stays consistent in what they're doing. And decision making in relationships is key. It's another big part of leadership decision making. It doesn't mean making all decisions by yourself, but being able to weigh options out, discuss them with your partner, and come to a mutual agreement. Leadership is about teamwork. Financial leadership without control. Make financial leadership doesn't mean controlling the money or making all the decisions about finance. It means to be financially responsible, transparent, and making smart decisions that benefit both the partners. It's about creating financial stability and security without taking away your partners. And just also challenges man may face in today's age, the fear of overstepping boundaries. A lot of men today are afraid to step into a leadership role because they don't want to come off as controlling or dominant. It's understandable, but it's important to recognize the difference between being a leader and being controlling leadership. So that's big. But also leadership is just being collaborative, supportive of what's going on and navigating that modern thing with that being modern, it's important to understand that leadership doesn't conflict with anything, but also understanding that the pressure from society has put man in a place where, perfect leadership is what they see, in which that's not real. But the truth is not one as all should answer, but leadership is all about growth, learning, and sometimes making mistakes along the way, and just learning to share the leadership roles with women. Another challenge is learning how to share leadership roles. In today's relationships, women are often led in certain areas, and also men are comfortable allowing women to lead in some of these areas to be able to excel within a relationship and life, and just balancing that leadership with your partner. One of the biggest challenges is finding a balance between leading and partnering. It's important to remember that leading doesn't mean carrying all the weight yourself. It's about knowing when to take charge and when to support your partner in leading as well. Advice from men as far as leading in 2024, work on your emotional intelligence. First and foremost, work on your emotional intelligence as far as recognizing your emotions and those as far as your partner, and being able to emotionally tune in with yourself and your partner to make you each other a better leader. And with that, you have to be consistent. As I said earlier, consistency is the key. Showing up, being reliable, and following through on your promises. That's how you build trust. And with building trust, sometimes it comes with leading with empathy. Leadership in justice isn't just about strength, it's about empathy. It's about being a man who leads and understands compassion, not just authority. Authority sometimes can be demonstrated in other areas in your life, but not within the relationship. Embracing vulnerability, that's key. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. It shows strength and it builds deeper connections with your partner. And also just understanding, taking initiative. Take initiative. Finally, take initiative in what you're doing. Don't wait for things to happen or the problems to get worse. Step up and take charge when necessary, but also keep your partner's feelings in mind as well. And just understanding that's key. You have to make sure you keep your partner's stuff in mind because you don't want to overrule those boundaries. And really, that's really it for me today, folks. Leadership in 2024 isn't about being in control, but it's about being supportive, understanding emotional presence, whether you're leading your family, relationships, or just leading yourself to being a better man. Remember that the true leadership is about growth, empathy, and action. Until next time, keep it bossing up, everyone, and appreciate you for tuning in. And I'm out. Peace.